JD Vance said,
Well, first of all, I love Erika, and I know that she did get some threats.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD.
Call me crazy. Go ahead. Call me crazy. And I could just be someone who's completely in love with their husband. So I can't relate to Erika here. What? There are very few instances that one can make a statement and say, but afterwards. And this isn't one of them. Saying no one can replace my dead husband, but is wild.
Do you have a friend who is always there for you? Like JD, Erika, he will never replace his husband. But he sees some similarity.
So Erika's struggling with this, and of course that's terrible, unspeakable. Most of us cannot even put ourselves in her shoes, while at the same time, she's trying to make sure that Charlie's legacy doesn't die. And in that context, everybody is attacking her over everything, and they're lying about her, and it's one of the most disgraceful things that I've ever seen in public life. And I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my life as a political leader, and I will tell you that the people who tell you, I was there with her, I was holding her hand, my wife was hugging her while we loaded Charlie's body onto Air Force Two and said the Lord's Prayer, the people telling you that Erika wasn't grieving her husband are full of shit, and we need to be...
Usha! Someone check on Usha. I swear to God, no one will defend someone harder than a man defending the woman he is screwing behind his wife's back. Because what do you mean this is the most disturbing thing you have ever seen in politics? The public reacting to Erika Kirk's obvious disturbing behavior. Her coming out on stage to freaking pyrotechnics as if she's Britney Spears at a concert days after.
So last weekend, they had an event which flopped in Georgia. It was Turning Point USA event. So I don't know whether Candace was saying the truth about how Americans refuse to attend the event. Or did you refuse to buy the tickets? She was scared that they will shoot her like how they did to her husband. She said that she received some threats. That's what she posted on her X. Do you think this show comment?
All right, guys, hear me out. So if there was some kind of safety issue and threat on Erika Kirk's life at this Georgia event, don't you think that they would probably just shut down the event for the sake of possibly putting all those other people at danger too? Or no? Let's just keep the event going. In case something happens, we'll catch them in the act. And Erika won't be there. Like, what? This doesn't make any sense. And if you believe it, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to tell you. Because it's all freaking Fed slop.
Do you feel safe?
I do. What are they going to threaten me with? Going to heaven sooner to be with my husband. And I don't say that to be reckless. I do not. I do not say that because I'm out in the streets. Like, here I am, come find me. And it's not at all. It's a fearlessness that's rooted in the understanding that I will have my day and my time, whenever that is. When the Lord knows that I've completed my mission. And I'm not afraid. Charlie wasn't afraid either. We never lived in fear. If we did, we wouldn't get anything done. And I can't help run alongside this mission of Turning Point USA and raise my babies with fear. I can't. That's not a life to live for anybody.
So that was in her godlier than thou era, right? When we had, like I said, normal concerns, like, hey, wouldn't you be kind of scared for your kids? You're doing a lot, right? No, Erika is on fire for the Lord. And that's why you don't understand it. It's supernatural because the Lord is giving her this courage. So I'm just asking the common sense question. What changed 7 months on? What was the threat that Erika endured that was so severe 7 months later that she had to last minute cancel an event with the number 2 man of this great nation? What threat could be so severe that she didn't even trust that the Secret Service right? The nation's secret service to the vice president, he just got back doing negotiations with Iran overseas. It has got to be a pretty good secret service. She did not feel that even they could alleviate it. Well, we can always rely on Andrew Colbert to further illuminate matters on Fox News.
It was a really unfortunate experience for me, too, just to have to watch that very difficult decision get made, which I think is the first time that we've ever had to make that decision in Turning Point history. But everything that happened with Charlie, obviously, his assassination, we're still, grieving that. And you saw what happened with Savannah Hernandez, one of our TPUSA Frontlines reporters in Minneapolis. And to see the security team, tell us, we cannot guarantee your safety. We recommend that you don't do this, was a really chilling moment for all of us to kind of have to internalize and experience and realize that Erika Kirk is, her children are one parent away from being orphans. And sometimes you just have to say, listen, right now, what's most important is your safety, is your security, and your children, your family. Let your team handle this. Let us do what we can do. And so, I obviously was horrified at the reason why, but I was honored to stand in and pinch hit for Erika last night. And I was grateful for the vice president to, that we didn't have to ultimately cancel the entire event. He was willing to do it with me, and it was very gracious of it.
Candace Owens is calling out Erika Kirk, claiming that she's lying about the actual reason why she didn't attend the Turning Point USA event tonight in Georgia. She says, I was so looking forward to tonight's event at the University of Georgia with our vice president, but after all our family has been through, I take my security team's recommendations extremely seriously. So she's claiming there was a security threat, and that's the reason why she skipped this event. But Candace Owens said in response, stop, this is exhausting. You pulled out because of bad ticket sales. For the same reason TP Faith had to reschedule the Pastor Summit and various other events quietly, people don't believe you and don't line up for you because you struggle to tell the truth about even the most basic facts. Then down here she says the Secret Service sits above your security team. Were there actually a viable threat, the vice president would obviously not have continued the event, which is true. And the ticket sales were absolutely pathetic. Just take a look at how empty the arena was.
It doesn't bother me when he speaks on issues today, frankly, even when I disagree with how he's applying the general principles. So
I think it's pretty obvious there was no actual security threat because JD Vance still attended the event. But this crowd size reflects the decay in the MAGA movement. Trump has clearly not put America first, and neither have any of his allies. Instead, they've put Israel and big money above everything else.
This empty stadium is a Turning Point USA event that took place at the University of Georgia yesterday. Not only is it empty, but Erika Kirk didn't even show up to her own event. Let's talk about it. Yes, Turning Point USA had an event with the Vice President of the United States on yesterday, and the stadium was empty. Erika Kirk didn't show up to her own event. Here's why.
Mr. Vice President, I'm on stage here instead of our friend Erika Kirk. That's right. Because unfortunately, she has received some very serious threats in her direction, which is terrible. It's a terrible reflection on the state of reality and the state of the country.
You can go out there on the Twitters or on the Threads or on the Instagrams or on the Facebooks or on the TikToks and find a much longer video with their explanation. Yeah, that's all I needed right there. I don't need any more. Erika Kirk retweeted that video clip with a caption that reads, I was so looking forward to tonight's event at the University of Georgia with our vice president at JD Vance. But after all our family has been through, I take my security team's recommendations extremely seriously. Thank you to our amazing Georgia chapter for your support. God bless you all. Now, when I saw that, I just rolled my eyes and I kept on moving because, girl, what kind of threats did you got that kept you away from an event, but it's okay for the vice president to be at that event? You're more important than the vice president of the United States now? He's second in command. So if there was a viable threat, JD Vance wouldn't have been there. Am I wrong, y'all? Am I wrong? Put it down in the comment section. I don't know the real reason why she didn't show up to that event.
People are insane. Like if Erika literally like fell and scraped her knee, if she did what I did and she broke her foot, they'd be like, this is Candace's fault. That's what they want. They're trying to create that environment. And so we need to be conscious of that. Okay. Everything we have done on this show has been fair. Charlie Kirk was murdered. We are being lied to about the details surrounding that murder. And I granted her grace beyond what the internet was willing to give her. She lied to my face. She has lied multiple times, and the lies are inexplicable. They won't clarify any of these lies. They are pretending like she's too busy, like she's some grieving, powerful widow behind the scenes. She's not. Actually, she plays very nasty, just so you guys know. Here's a fact. Erika personally made phone calls trying to get people not to go to the Catholic event that I spoke at the other week. Okay? She plays dirty behind the scenes. The people who were fired told me who was behind this PR push. Erika was behind this stuff the entire time. So you can completely miss me. I don't play that way. With me, you get what you get. I'm going to say it on my show. I'm not going to wheel and deal. I'm not going to call a PR person and be like, could we get this article? Can we try to see if we can get Candace canceled from this event? Can we try to see? It was sold out. The event was sold out. It's because I don't play that way. I don't have that karma building up in the background. I don't have to worry about, I don't treat people that way. I'm always upfront, and I was upfront with her when I sat down with her, and she lied. Okay? So she got onto my list of people that I find to be suspicious because of her own actions and her behavior and her lack of interest in the very many holes in this case, her anger at Joe Kent for trying to investigate foreign involvement. Who do you think is orchestrating all that? Does it sound to you like Andrew Colbert has a brain, or like there could be someone more conniving behind him? I offer you the latter. Okay? It is definitively the latter. And I will leave it at that.
It's Joe from Georgia. So if you want to know how unpopular the vice president is, as well as Erika Kirk with Turning Point USA, you don't have to go any further than yesterday's event in Athens, Georgia at the University of Georgia. They were holding a conference there with the vice president, Erika Kirk, being the main speakers. Well, Erika Kirk decided she couldn't come because of security reasons, even though it's rather weird that the vice president of the United States could still come and there'd be security threats, considering he does have the Secret Service behind him. So she didn't show up, but guess who else didn't show up? The audience. The place seats 10,000 people with the floor configuration. 1,100 people showed up for the Turning Point USA conference at the University of Georgia, to where these conferences before, if you know when Charlie Kirk had them, would be packed with thousands of people. So folks are showing exactly how they feel. But the Turning Point USA conference in Athens, Georgia was a total and complete fiasco for the vice president and the no-show, Erika Trump.
But it's freeing.
It is freeing.
It is freeing when you can say, I pray for them, even though they hate me. I pray for them. Because it frees you from, like you said, Pastor James, that poison.
That's right.
And it frees you from that hold that they could have on your heart, because you won't let them break you.
That's
you
right.
won't let the world break you.
Right. That's right.
And it's even personal for me. I have two children to raise. I have an organization to run. I have students counting on me to show up. And that is where my energy goes.
That's right.
Every single day, that's where my energy goes. And, you know, and Pastor James, you know this too, at a micro level, you know, we see it. We live in an attention economy where it's designed to keep people angry, and it's designed to keep people divided and continuing to scroll and to get their clicks. And a solved problem on the internet or wherever does not drive engagement. And a resolved grievance does not generate clicks. Mm-hmm. So some people, you know, have made a very deliberate choice to live their life that way. And you, Pastor James, and all the other people that are inside of Bible in 365, that is their business. That's not ours. Our business is of the Lord. And every single day, no matter how much you talk about us, that's your business. Our business is the Lord's, and we will just pray for them and keep moving and keep building. That is our business.
That's right.
Our business is kingdom business. Everything else is of the world.
It's about our Father's business.
Amen.
So, this week, Erika Kirk was supposed to do an event with JD Vance and had to cancel. We found out through Mary Margaret Olahan that it was canceled because her traveling itinerary was doxed and her security team wasn't comfortable that they would be able to secure her there, to and from the event. I'm going to show you what she said. This always shakes for me, so my apologies. But regarding the threats to Erika Kirk that prevent her from attending today's event with the Vice President Vance, blah, blah, blah. The security had been monitoring the situation the days leading up to today's events. People were doxing her travel location and trying to track her arrival and departure. I'm told that there were multiple direct threats against Erika's specifically. This ultimately led to her security's assessment that they couldn't guarantee her safety. The event, and in quotation marks, the event venue itself was fine, especially once VP was on the site, but it was the travel portion that was the chief concern. Candace Owens threw a conniption fit online, saying this was just PR garbage. Well, actually, those weren't her words. She used stronger words. She just was so mad. It had to have been a stunt because she pulls security stunts. Remember, she claimed to have had her life threatened back in November because of, French and Israeli assassins, but then went to Dollywood the next week when she was on vacation with no security in sight, was taking pictures with a fan. Okay? Also, Candace Owens was the one who said she wouldn't go to the memorial service because she didn't feel like it was safe. Because, she was, saying nasty things about the feds, and she wouldn't consider herself safe. Blah, 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 I can't talk. Wouldn't consider herself safe. But when she did feel unsafe, when she thought she had a credible threat about Israelis and French assassins, who did she go to? The feds. She sent it to the FBI. You can't make this stuff up, okay? And so, she doesn't go to the event because she doesn't think the feds are safe, but goes to the feds when she really thinks her life isn't safe, but doesn't provide the receipts for that, and then goes to Dollywood. But when Erika is traveling and that is getting doxxed and people are threatening her her life, that's PR horse, is what Candace said. Candace is she's just insane. She's absolutely crazy off the ranch. She's off the ranch crazy, okay? Her logic makes no sense. If she can't go to the memorial because it's not safe, even though the president and the vice president and the whole cabinet was there, right? It's not safe for her to go then because of the feds. But she goes to the feds when she thinks she has a credible threat on her life. Never actually shares the receipts. Never has shown a single receipt for the threat or what she sent to the FBI. She'll literally share anything else but that. And then when Erika has credible threats, which JD Vance affirmed, right, and Mary Margaret Olahan reported on and got statements, you just don't cancel on the VP for PR horse crap. Okay, that just doesn't happen. And all of the people are also following this up with Erika Kirk had low ticket sales, and that's why she didn't go. The event was free. The event was free. And other people that I'm seeing that were at that event also said that they had been limiting seating and who could get in and how many people they had because of security concerns. And, less people, less concerns, less people that you have to get through and vet and everything else like that. So it's absolute craziness. Absolute craziness. The amount of projection Candace has onto Erika Kirk is wild. And the amount of people who are just falling for everything that she says while ignoring the major inconsistencies she's had it's unfathomable. It's unfathomable. I do not understand where these people, what logic, frame of logic were you given growing up? Because you clearly do not understand, you don't have good reasoning skills. I don't know. I don't know.
JD Vance and Erika Kirk were both supposed to be in attendance at UGA on Tuesday, April 14th. UGA is the University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia. Now, baby, JD Vance claims that Erika Kirk did not show up because of some threats she had received. Okay, and then Candace Owens took to her social media and called out Erika Kirk by saying that Erika Kirk was lying. The reason why she didn't show up to that event is because the tickets didn't sell. Now, I can agree with her on that because someone did capture a video and baby, the seats were empty. So anyway, politics these days, baby, they're so messy. They are so messy. And I really miss when politics were boring. That's all.
Do you think Bishop flopped or she was afraid of losing her life at the event? But what I heard, her friend JD attended and that she was in backstage because the show flopped. Tell me what you think down in the comment.
Candace Owens is calling out Erika Kirk, claiming that she's lying about the actual reason why she didn't attend the Turning Point USA event tonight in Georgia. She says, I was so looking forward to tonight's event at the University of Georgia with our vice president, but after all our family has been through, I take my security team's recommendations extremely seriously. So she's claiming there was a security threat and that's the reason why she skipped this event. But Candace Owens said in response, stop, this is exhausting. You pulled out because of bad ticket sales. For the same reason TP Faith had to reschedule the Pastor Summit and various other events quietly, people don't believe you and don't line up for you because you struggle to tell the truth about even the most basic facts. Then down here she says the Secret Service sits above your security team. Were there actually a viable threat, the vice president would obviously not have continued the event, which is true. And the ticket sales were absolutely pathetic. Just take a look at how empty the arena was.
It doesn't bother me when he speaks on issues today, frankly, even when I disagree with how he's applying the general principles. So
I think it's pretty obvious there was no actual security threat because JD Vance still attended the event. But this crowd size reflects the decay in the MAGA movement. Trump has clearly not put America first, and neither have any of his allies. Instead, they've put Israel and big money above everything else.
Hold on, so let me make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Miss Shalami received so many death threats that she didn't show up to her own event with JD Vance, left JD Vance high and dry. But JD Vance, the vice president, who's a guest at her event, shows up anyway when he had more of a reason to not show up if the threats were that credible. And he has the best security team in the country. But apparently Dan Flood told Erika Kirk her life is in danger. As if the Secret Service is going to protect JD Vance and not Erika Kirk, who's 2 feet away from him. Then I seen what the venue looked like and I said, okay, I see what's going on.
But it doesn't bother me when he speaks on issues today, frankly, even when I disagree with how he's applying the general principles. So the most obvious example.
You know how down bad you got to be to not sell any tickets and then you resort to the I'm receiving death threats. That's why I can't make it tonight. And then as soon as I seen the death threat card getting pulled out, I said, here we go. Gotta make it about Miss Shalami. The news is gonna love this one.
Just in the past few minutes, Turning Point USA CEO Erika Kirk canceled a planned appearance at today's event in Georgia after receiving what organizers called very serious threats. Erika Kirk is the widow, of course, of the late conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated last year at a Turning Point event in Utah. Today's rally was held at the University of Georgia in Athens.
And you know what, Charlie? I'm disappointed in you, bro. Because I know you in here somewhere. Erika said you be watching everybody. I know you in here. It's your fault because I heard the audio. You said that you appoint Erika Kirk as the new CEO. Even though you knew that you be getting threats left and right. You knew that. You even texted Dan Flood that you felt like you was going to die tomorrow. He didn't cancel your event though, did he? But they canceled the next day. They had no security detail, by the way, for the next day. But they didn't cancel the event that you... I digress. You knew the danger you was going to put your wife in by appointing her to that job. It took your life. You ain't even here no more, big dog. So why would you even say in that audio that she walked out to that you appoint her to the job that took your life? That don't make any sense, do it? But you said that though. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So by now, you guys have all heard that Erika Kirk bowed out of a Georgia event that she was slated to appear at last night for Turning Point USA with the vice president. And the reason she bowed out was due to credible threats on her life. Both the vice president and Andrew Colvett, who came in her stead, confirmed this. They both talked about the fact, and I think that it's absolutely valid, that Erika has to do what is best for her and for her children. And also, her children are now one parent away from being orphans. I think that's absolutely a reasonable thing to say and a more than reasonable consideration. But of course, Candace Owens wasted no time last night mocking Erika, obsessively tweeting about this, and baselessly claiming that Erika pulled out at the last minute due to low ticket sales. And then this is her on her show doubling down and mocking Erika again today. Watch her face while Andrew is speaking.
Now. So I'm going to address it right at the front. Mr. Vice President, I'm on stage here instead of our friend Erika Kirk. That's right. Because unfortunately, she has received some very serious threats in her direction, which is terrible. It's a terrible reflection on the state of reality and the state of the country. But it underscores a larger point that she has received a lot of attacks from surprising places, perhaps. Tell us what you think about that and some of the people that have made part-time jobs out of attacking Erika, and this is the net result.
Oh my. Is the implication here that it's our fault? Is it my fault? Why do I feel like they're talking about me? Is that weird? She's not here. And come on, Veep. Come on. Explain to everybody how it's actually Candace Owens' fault because she's being attacked, more broadly speaking. What do I have to do with her going to an event?
So right off the bat, a few things. Number one, this actually was not a ticketed event. I think you had to pre-register before going, but you did not have to buy tickets. And there's a creator that I just started following called That Opinionated Girl. I like her a lot. She seems to have a lot of reasonable, rational takes. She was actually there, and I thought she made a great point of what other organization do you know of is giving young people access to the vice president for free. Yeah, that is pretty incredible. That just is a testament to the work that TPUSA is doing and the work that Erika is continuing on for her husband, Charlie, her late husband, Charlie. Second of all, Candace Owens, of all people, does not have a leg to stand on to mock another woman for talking about credible threats against her life. Candace Owens in December claimed that the French government had put out a hit on her life. And then she proceeded to go to Dollywood, apparently, and then definitely did go to Tucker Carlson's Christmas party. So she claims that one of the most powerful foreign governments in the world has put out a hit on her life, and then she goes to a Christmas party. So I don't think that she has a leg to stand on. When Candace Owens was asked why she did not go to Charlie's memorial, one of the reasons that she gave was that the security was not tight enough for the threats that she was getting. Well, if you didn't recall, the vice president and the sitting president were at Charlie's memorial. So the security wasn't tight enough. And yet, funnily enough, Candace sycophants have the nerve to mock Erika, saying, well, why couldn't she go last night? The vice president was there. How is it that security's not tight enough if the vice president wasn't there? Well, number one, you don't hold Candace to that same standard. Second of all, Mary Margaret Olahan posted this tweet. I think she's a reporter for the Daily Wire, if I'm not mistaken. And she clarified that the threats were actually surrounding Erika's travel and not necessarily around the events. And I, again, think that's more than reasonable. I mean, we've got people charting her flights and where she takes off from. And, Egyptian planes are following her around and murdering Charlie Kirk. So, yeah, we already know for sure that people are
tracking her every movement and her flight. And while she's en route, that has nothing to do with the Secret Service. She's not using the vice president's Secret Service to end from the event. And also, frankly, no disrespect to the Secret Service, but Butler did happen. So I don't know really anymore that the Secret Service is really the pinnacle of security. And again, it pains me to say that, and I don't mean any disrespect, but all it takes is one. All it takes is one person with a weapon getting through security, one unmanned roof. That's all it takes is one. So not only do you have to consider the event itself, but you also have to consider getting to the event, getting from the event. I also brought up the point last night that sure, the event itself might be highly secure, especially because the vice president is there and because of what happened to Charlie Kirk. But you also don't know what kind of mental and emotional and spiritual toll this has taken on Erika, especially if there are credible threats against her life, which I absolutely think that there are. Of course there are. Why wouldn't there be? For Candace Owens, again, of all people, to mock that, Candace has been accusing this woman.
What is going on? Yesterday evening on X, Erika Kirk posted this. She was supposed to be at a Turning Point event at the University of Georgia with J.D. Vance last night. Apparently, allegedly, she had threats against her life and she couldn't go. And this is Candace Owens' response. Candace Owens is accusing Erika Kirk of pulling out not because of security threat to her life, but because of bad ticket sales. I'm not taking up for Candace Owens, not one bit. She has sold her soul to the devil. But with that being said, I've seen videos and pictures and there was literally nobody there hardly. So, I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't really believe Candace Owens, but there's something deeper than what we're understanding here. Candace Owens has lost her ever-loving mind. If something did happen to Erika Kirk, I would 100% blame Candace Owens. I don't agree with everything either one of them say, but something just don't sit right with me. Yes, I believe that Erika Kirk been doing some shady business. Yes, I thoroughly 100% believe that Candace Owens does some shady business. I don't understand why Candace Owens just won't shut up. Every day, Candace Owens is, we're going to get closer. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to finding out what happened to Charlie. We're getting closer. Are we close yet? I don't understand the beef between Erika and Candace. Listen, just hire me to be your mediator. Y'all are worse than two high schoolers. I am not siding with Candace Owens. But if Erika Kirk had threats on her life, why would you go ahead and send the Vice President of the United States of America? Huh? Ta-ta for now.
Let me get this straight. You guys are going after Erika Kirk yet again because she canceled the Turning Point USA event? Let's be real. If your husband was assassinated all over TV for everyone to see, I would be terrified as a wife as well to go out in public. Not only did you assassinate an innocent man, you come after his innocent wife. Why? Because Charlie Kirk said things you didn't agree with and you didn't like? That still did not mean that that man deserved to die.
So the vice president went to an event at Turning Point USA at the University of Georgia today, and apparently Erika Kirk did not show up. J.D. Vance was there for an interview, and Erika was supposed to interview him, but allegedly she did not come because she's received some serious threats towards her. I guess the threats weren't serious enough for J.D. Vance to be concerned because he was there. But according to Candace Owens, it was because there were low ticket sales and the stadium was empty. So what's the truth? I don't know.
So if there ever was a Kirk and a Vance ticket, it's now over. We know that it's over because, see, they tried to do reverse psychology with us. Just watch this. You know, they say if you repeat a lie enough, people will believe it'll become the truth to them. That backfired on them because they should have just shut up altogether. There's so many news stories, one in particular about a young lady. Her life was taken in Africa and no one has spoken to the fiance. He's not saying anything. He's just kind of laying low, and he took her, you know, to Africa, whatever the case may be. What I'm saying is that if he's not saying anything, you can't get anything out of him. Because when somebody starts talking, you can tell if they're telling the truth or a lie, for the most part. And for Erika and Vance, one of the biggest mistakes that the Trump administration, Vance, all of them did was bring Erika Kirk to every freaking thing. She's always there with them. Trump is doing a speech. Oh, there goes Erika Kirk at TPUSA. She's always involved in any and everything. If she would have went home after dear Charlie was murdered, we would have looked like monsters talking about a grieving widow. because we wouldn't have any proof that she was grieving, but we would just know that she has to be grieving because we're grieving and you're his wife. You got to be grieving. But to tag her on to everything that they're doing, every meeting, every press conference, and then TPUSA, they're doing this, they're doing that. All of that carrying out his name completely backfired. They should have said, you know what? We're not doing anything. We need some time to recuperate from what just happened. And they turned around and did a podcast days later, and she was there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you going to do a podcast and say, oh, we have so many clips of us, but we're not going to be tweeting like in his name. That would be like so toned up and more bad. That would be so toned up. That is so weird to even say. Why are you smiling? You completely skipped the grieving phase. You completely skipped the I just want to F everybody up because my husband is gone phase. So that is where they messed up. They thought that if they could continue to repeat a lie, that people would jump onto it. But what happened was there's so many people exposing the truth. They're now questioning them. Why aren't you questioning them? Why aren't you at least answering them if they're lying? If Candace is lying, if Barron is lying, if everybody else is doing an investigation, if they're lying, why won't you just simply answer them? Why won't you meet up with them? Why not have a debate? What's up with all these tweets and things? You guys don't want to acknowledge these so-called lies, but where are they getting these lies from? If they're lies, out of their butts, where are they getting this information from? And couple that with the people that had direct interaction with these people that are saying, hey, here's a tip, here's a tip. This is stuff that people, it's like hearsay, but it's not, because people know people that know y'all. And they know y'all shady. Y'all messed up when y'all included Erika and everything y'all been doing.
Now, y'all tell me what's really going on. What is really happening behind the scenes? Erika Kirk canceled on JD Vance and made him go to Georgia by himself? What's the tea? Somebody better tell me. And then look at this crowd, or lack of thereof. Not even 25% of the stadium filled to hear the vice president and Erika Kirk speak because they want to make heaven crowded again? Tell me what's really going on. Something is shaking and ruffling behind the scenes at Turning Point USA and with Erika Kirk, and threats. Threats is not it, because what did she say in the past? Her and Charlie knew there were always threats. They would never let a threat determine the decisions that they made in this life. So a threat could not have possibly been the reason she didn't go be with the vice president of the United States at this performance today. What y'all think it was? You really think it was a threat? I don't think it was a threat, and I think Candace was on to something today, baby, because she exposed a whole lot. We're going to do a rundown on that later, but tell me again, why was she not with JD at Georgia today?
You see JD Vance speaking at the Turning Point USA event in Athens, Georgia, at the University of Georgia earlier today. Oh my gosh, there was nobody there. What? Nobody came out to see JD Vance? Apparently not. The arena was maybe a quarter full, if that. And Erika Kirk didn't even go. Now, she said there was some type of security threat, and she didn't want to go because of that and all the things that her family had been through. Let's see. If it's safe enough for JD Vance, the vice president of the country, to go, Erika Kirk, I think you could go. I really think you could. By the way, Candace Owens said on Twitter, on X, she said you didn't go because the ticket sales were so bad that you just couldn't show up. So I don't know what it was, but I do know this. Nobody was there. And they also were booing JD Vance, and they weren't happy about students and young people being unalived in Iran, and they were booing and catcalling him for that too. So seems like, Erika, you're not doing too good a job with TPUSA. It's not doing too well these days. I wonder why is that? Well, just let you know, there was virtually nobody there at the event for JD Vance in Athens, Georgia. Almost like, well, I can't say that. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my cuckoos, my crazies, and my brown LA bulbs. Have a good night. Maybe if JD was giving out free eyeliners, maybe pencils for that, maybe he could get more people to show up. What do you think?
BS that Erika has some security threat. You're telling me that somebody would want to take out Erika Kirk over our vice president? Yeah, okay. I actually think this is a really good thing for JD Vance, who I'm rooting for, by the way, and I feel bad for, by the way, regardless of the people making videos saying that I want to take him out, reporting me to the FBI, and doxing my address. I I digress. Do you think he should stay as far away from Erika Kirk and her crazy eyes and all her trafficking scandals as possible if he wants to run in 2028 and have a shot at being our hottest president ever? And I'm glad that he got to see that nobody showed up for this event because nobody likes this woman. Everybody thinks something is wrong with her. JD, please stay away.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.